Across the Spiderverse has crazy action, all these different worlds, but this scene where Gwen is talking to her dad is the one that stuck with me the most. A huge part of that, I think, is the visual artistry that was used to help create this scene. So let's take a look at it. It is going to show us all these art principles really, really, really clearly. Each moment of this scene is like a beautiful painting, but each of those paintings has a really clear storytelling purpose. And what I want to talk about is how boldly these artists have pursued that purpose and nothing else. It starts off pretty simple. She is sneaking in to the flat. There's no doubt here about what we need to focus on. What's the focal point of this scene? It's her. So they place a really strong light behind her face here to light it up. So we get strong clarity, value contrast right here, and we don't get that anywhere else. So it's really clear where we're supposed to look. We get a kitchen. Look how nicely the kitchen is depicted. It's really clear what it is, but look at how it's made really clear. This scene isn't about the kitchen, right? It's about her. If you're learning to draw, you may experience this thing when you're drawing of insecurity. Like, how do I make this look like the thing and not look like a sort of mutant disaster? And so you start trying to really clarify and spell it out and put a line around everything. But here you can see how many of these edges, how many of these lines can be lost in here, right? And we still can totally see what it is. But the point is, this scene is not about what's happening in here, so it doesn't all need to be really spelled out because that grabs too much attention. All right, she goes to leave and, she's caught. He's woken up and she's kind of caught in the act. Is there any doubt, again, about where to look, what this moment is about? There's this green light outside. They've set her strong silhouette against that, plus his reflection in the window. It's quite a strong value contrast, light and dark. So what is happening in here? Very low value contrast, really undefined drawings of things. They are giving a texture. They're giving the feeling of a lived-in home. That's their purpose. And they're also they're starting to give a feeling of the emotion. So we want to have a little bit of a focus on this cute little toy. We want to have a focus on him. So she's shot some webbing at it, like neutralizing the threat because she doesn't know what was behind her. It's just her dad with this cute little toy. He makes a joke. This is a huge moment. He says, "Can you leave the penguin alone?" Big moment because he's not coming in with all this anger that they left with last time they saw each other. There was all this resentment, there's all this anger, and he is trying an icebreaker. He's coming in peace right now. So obviously we have a very nicely designed little thing here in terms of the shapes, right? It's not super duper complex in terms of its shape. And a lot of the shape is kind of matched, right, in the rest of these items. These items are not the attention thing. They're not the thing that they want us to look at. These items then are just painted over with all the same color. The penguin then is blue-green and really stands out against that because it's like a secondary point of focus. And then there's him as a shape of relative light against the very dark behind him in the doorway. So there's a few things happening here, but notice how dialed back things are here so that we can focus on the thing that matters. Now, she's still going to leave and she's still upset. Right now we have all this is just one mass of dark, cold color reflecting how she feels. And she's staring daggers at him. She doesn't like that joke. And the home, the poster here is almost backing her up, also staring daggers at the poor dad. Is there any doubt about what we're supposed to look at? We got high contrast, light to dark. Her silhouette is carved out against this big mass. And there's a really nice balance here where we get this big mass, but there's not much going on. And then this shape, smaller, but a lot going on. So it feels kind of balanced in this picture, right? There's a lot of beautiful stuff happening right here, right? Do you just get a huge sense they put this big gap between them so that you really feel they're far apart right now. We want them to come back together, to be, close again, to make up, but that is not where they are now. And there's going to be a lot to work through to get there. So it's heavy, it's dark, it's cold. Do we know what to look at? Yeah, it's him and it's her, and it's this line between the two of them. Look at the lines used to depict him. Look at this outline. From here to his ankle, a straight line. From here to his knee, a straight line. Even from like his neck down to his elbow here, one gentle S-shaped curve. Because we don't need to depict every little indentation, bump and fold of the trousers and everything else. It is simplified down. One thing that we probably do want to look at here is just the overall shape of him, which is pretty square, right? He's this kind of solid character. He's got a squareness to him. But we want to see this shape of his face. He's looking down. It's blue. He's feeling kind of a sadness here. And that's where what this pose is about. And so our attention is not all about what the folds of the fabric and all of this are doing. It's about that. And so that's what's prioritized. It's pretty cool how even the lines, the way that the values work, everything is serving a purpose. She takes off her mask. She is ready to engage and talk as a human being instead of as a superhero. He's trying to talk to her. She is more combative. And again, you know, really love this pose, the squash, the stretch, the simplicity and the clarity of the shapes. And, you know, how everything else in the picture is dialed down. Still dark, still very cold because there's still a lot of resentment there. And she makes this combative joke. So he goes into the house. He's upset, he's annoyed, right? She runs in and she's like, damn, you know, I messed up there. I do want to engage. I do want to do something, you know, to fix this. So now we have everything is kind of blocked into really big, simple shapes. So the background is just a few big, simple shapes, one dark one, then we have his medium-sized shape as a shape of light cut out against that dark shape. We have her shape, a big kind of dark shape here, cold shape, against the shape of the red behind them. Now, one thing that we've had throughout a lot of these scenes is we've had the background having a lot of like simple rectangular and vertical shapes, like in the kitchen, this kind of thing. Lots of simple, you know, verticals and rectangles and squares and things. And then we have the organic diagonals of her character. And he is kind of solid, he is kind of rectangular and vertical, and he fits into this home, he's part of this home and part of this solidity. And she is more of a diagonal, more angular. What we're going to have in this scene is the walls of this home are going to become a canvas for the emotions of the character. Now, I'm not saying you always have to do that. That might not be the right choice in a lot of places, but in this case, they've made that decision. So now the feelings start to change. She's starting to open up to him. And so instead of these big, dark, cold colors, it's not like just happy, good times yet, but there's a sort of softness to the colors now, a vulnerability. She is starting to open up about the struggles that she's having, trying to balance all these responsibilities, trying to be a good person and be someone her dad can feel proud of, while also saving her friends, which she can't do. She's not, you know, she wasn't able to save Peter and all this stuff, and she's lost and she's struggling. So this is no longer, these walls that are a canvas for her emotions are no longer anger, resentment, coldness, but they're also full, you know, they're distraught, right? She's struggling. And so this is when the paint really starts to feel like it's dripping down these walls. We get very intense color, and the color of her is like just directly, you know, going out onto these walls. So we still have real clarity about what this moment is about, you know, because she has this really clear light and dark shape, but like the colors of her hair and her gloves and things, and then the colors of the walls, she is opening up. She's becoming vulnerable. And instead of just this mask of darkness and resentment, now we're starting to get to the real emotion that's happening. And she is so upset that she isn't able to help everyone in the way that she wants, right? And especially the fact that she doesn't have her dad on her side. Her dad is a police officer that's like supposed to arrest her. It's an incredibly difficult situation. We're not sure how he's feeling. He is, a shape of light set against a shape of dark. We're not sure how he's feeling. Is he listening? Is he opening up to this? How's it going? And she's like, all right, just arrest me then. So she's like just feeling at her worst here. All right, look, I don't know what, I'm completely lost here. I'm struggling. You're not on my side. Just arrest me. And this is when he starts to say, I can't because I quit as captain of the police force. It's just such an amazing moment. And she's like, what? She doesn't just suddenly jump to, yay, my dad's on my side again and everything is good. She's like, but wait, what does this mean? She's processing it. And that processing is reflected here in the walls of the way that this paint is mixing and starting to open up. And suddenly we're starting to get this completely different color palette behind the dad, who's realizing, I just need to get my daughter back. Nothing else really matters. And his heart is really, feeling so much better for that. And something that I really appreciate about this moment, number one, for the first time, they have the same colors behind them. It's not crazy color of resentment behind her and crazy color of sadness behind him and all this separation. Now they are starting to come together again. Look at the beautiful abstract ideas and splotches of color in the background. And then it's like a Kandinsky painting or something. It's like some kind of abstract art in the background. Now, I'll tell you that I have never really connected with abstract art that way. It's sort of unrelated. I can't relate to it. I often need something, some element of realism, something that I can relate to connect to. So like maybe a watercolor painting of a landscape with a really beautiful abstract design, but I can sense the place and the light and things, and I connect to it through the light and the place. And then I engage with the abstract design. And maybe it's not a good thing to admit, but this is like some of the first abstract art where I really connect to it because it has a context, which is all of this is reflecting how he's feeling right here, right? He's feeling a particular way because he's mending and healing right now. And the way that these circular shapes connect to each other, all these beautiful light pastel colors and things, the way that this whole thing works is like some of the first like proper fully abstract art that I'm really like engaging with. Same thing behind her. All right, so now their colors are the same. I want to just like point out again that, look at the lines used right from here all the way down here. Look at how simple that is, how little information they feel the need to put here, because is it about the details of the, fold here in the fabric or whatever, right? No, so they make it so simple. It's not about this. It's not about little details of this. It's about this, it's what is it about? And you dial down in stuff in some places and dial it up in other places. And then she's now ready to move on to pursue the next stage of the plot where she's got this crazy, whatever it is. I mean, she's ready to go. She's got, her dad is supporting her and has her back, and that's all that really matters. Amazingly beautiful scene. I loved it so much, and I love looking at it now again. If you want to see an analysis of the writing of that scene, I'll leave a link to, there's a writing YouTuber called Schnee who analyzed it. It's really interesting. When you're doing your exercises, you're learning perspective, you're learning to observe. Yeah, you gotta put in lines around stuff and spell everything out, for your exercises sometimes. But eventually you're gonna start to make your art, the thing that expresses what you're interested in and what you care about. And when you start to do that, you need to start to leave things out. Because it's only by leaving things out that you emphasize things. So in these scenes, they left out so much of the real colors of things, the real shadows and values, the real lines around things. the real folds in this and that and all the details of the outlines, they left out so much so that they could hammer home what they really cared about in that moment, the storytelling part that they really cared about. And so when you're making your true art, not just your technical exercises, but the thing that expresses what you care about, it doesn't have to be like this, but whatever it is, if a portrait or whatever, what you find beautiful about the human face or whatever, you're going to have to leave out some stuff so that you can emphasize some stuff. All right, and that's the real point of all of this, is so that we can see what you care about and what you want us to see. So do your exercises, but it's a means to that end. All right, I'm going to put another video up on the screen that is just for you. Check it out. I hope you liked this. Let me know if you want me to do more analysis of stuff like this, and I will do more. And I'll see you over there.